State Representative Raymond Cruz is here. Hey, Mr. Raymond, welcome back to Kiel. How you been?
Oh, I've been doing great, Robert. Aaron, good to see you again. Or hear you.
You got a peachy committee assignment, but it was not at the speaker's doing, correct? Tell me how you're on appropriations, which is one of the biggies.
That is correct. Yes, each Bessie district has the members of the legislature of the House vote for one of the members of that Bessie district to serve on appropriations. And I was fortunate and blessed enough to have the other members of the delegation put my name in the ring there, so I was able to secure that seat.
Okay. Dodie Horton kicked off of Ways and Means.
Is kicked off the right term, and I'm being serious.
Some people are saying, yeah, there was some politics to what happened. Am I right?
Well, I've got to tell you, it sure looks suspicious. From what we understood, most of the committee assignments had been decided and then, I guess, got redone this week. So it's disappointing that we're waiting that long, but it sure makes it look like that there's some outside influence going on.
Well, let me try it this way. Is the Doty removal from that committee, is that sort of, I don't want to say it, but is it Clay Scheck-Snyder living up to everybody's fears and concerns, or is it something other than that?
Well, that is hard to put in words. It's hard to put the right description on it right now, but it does seem that way. As you know, the governor's not exactly excited about the support he's gotten from Northwest Louisiana. We've opposed tax increases and a lot of his goals that we just don't think are good for Louisiana. So it could be a little retribution. But definitely the way the speaker vote went down, it looks like he's maybe trying to live up to maybe some promises he made to secure that.
Raymond.
Oh, look out.
I'm looking at the list that was just released, and Shreveport-Bossier, the third largest freaking city in our state.
Hey.
Has one representative on appropriations and one representative on Ways and Means, if I'm correct. And our representative on Ways and Means is a freshman, Tammy Phelps. Why does this keep happening? I don't understand it.
Yeah, it's hard for most of us to understand that thing. The people that you know and you work with and you have us on the radio, we want the best for this state, and that, of course, includes Northwest Louisiana. To continually be excluded from that and be thought of as almost a different state entirely is disappointing at best and frustrating.
I'm looking at your committee, appropriations. There are two representatives from the same Houma, Louisiana, for crying out loud. Baton Rouge has got 4 or 5. Do they look at geographics when they do these at all?
Well, it seems like they just take everything north of I-10 and just say, hey, let's just worry about that some other time. I don't know. It's disappointing. We got a lot of opportunity up here, a lot of good things happening, and not to be recognized for that and the base or whatever, it's disappointing.
Mr. Raymond, explain to everybody how this sort of the dishing out, if you will, of these committee assignments will down the line affect the legislation that comes up within the committees, which means it may or may not make it to the House floor, and how that will affect overall who continues to make the rules here in Louisiana.
Yeah, I tell you, there are a lot of aspects of this that go together. I mean, there's a lot of importance put on, say, the chairman and the vice chairman, but that's not necessarily a determinant in how things will turn out. You can have a vice chairman that may be very left-leaning, but if the committee makeup is more right-leaning, it can prevent a lot of the bad ideas from getting to the floor. And conversely, you can have a very conservative chairman, but if you make the committee more left-leaning, you're not going to have the result that we're hoping for up here. So there are a lot of dynamics that go on there. And as a matter of fact, one thing is not all these bills you'll see have been announced yet, because are looking to see how the committee is going to shake out. Because if it's obvious your bill's not going to even get out of the committee, it's just a waste of everybody's resources to design a bill to see it fail in committee. So we're waiting on a lot. There's a lot of potential for this state, but if these committees don't shake out the right way, it may be a very disappointing time.
Okay, let me read. You see, you started off in my same direction. Let me rephrase the question this way: Are you now that we see who's going to be where committee-wise? Are you more or less optimistic as it pertains to the conservative agenda?
I'm less optimistic on the House side. I'm more optimistic on the Senate side. Because keep in mind, if the Senate can get those things through their committee and off the floor, we've got 45 very conservative members in the House. And there's some of those that maybe not as conservative, but they definitely still are looking for the same principles. They just had a different intermediate step, let's say. So if they can get to the House floor, I think we can get them out. It's just that they may not originate in the House as the real change from the last term.
Raymond, you're on the way to the Joint Legislative Committee on the Budget meeting, which is going on today. What's going to happen in that? What are you expecting?
Well, there are only a few things on the agenda today, but we're going to kind of get introduced to one another, start learning people's leanings a little bit better, what they're in favor of, what they're not. And I think we're going to get a good feel for the direction of it. One thing I'm particularly interested in today is the Department of Veterans Affairs is going to come before us to talk about some things that they'd like to do for the veterans and move some money around. And, of course, you know, I'm a veteran. We got Barksdale up there. The veterans are very important to us. So we want to make sure they get what they need to be able to properly care for the veterans around the state.